Hello and welcome to Movie Club.
I'm Akira.
I'm Will.
And I'm Chris.
In this video, we'll be looking at the top 10 movies of 2013.
So, let's get started. Tell me of Thor, The Dark World, the sequel to Thor, which follows the life of Thor in Asgard and also in Saving Earth. In this film, the evil Dark Elf Malekith, played by Christopher Eccleston, attempts to send the world into darkness using a mystical weapon. Thor tries to stop him and is reunited with Jane Foster, his love. I thought this film was very good. Thor's love was tested when he had to ask Loki for help, but strengthened when he was with Jane. This film had some good action scenes, a good plot, and could also be quite amusing. It rates as a 7 out of 10.
And for number 9, we have The Wolverine, starring Hugh Jackman. This is a spectacular film set in Tokyo, Japan in the present day. We find out that a strong businessman in Japan seeks out Wolverine to repay him for his debts and turn Wolverine mortal. Therefore, he is in his weakest state and therefore his most vulnerable state. I really like this movie and I thought it was absolutely amazing the whole way through up until the end. I thought that the whole robot samurai scene was just a bit, how can I say, pointless and was just a bit cheesy. And I think that's quite sad because I think that there was so much good Wolverine material to go off of and it seemed like no one really knew how to end the movie. But I still thought that the fight scenes were great and there was one actress that I especially liked called Rila Fushima. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But I just thought she was great and she was the Asian lady that first seeked out Wolverine at the start. But I just thought she was great and she had a very unique look that I loved. And that's why I would rank Wolverine 7.
At number 8, we have The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. The newest installment in the Hunger Games film saw Katniss and Peeta thrown back into the dreaded Hunger Games. The arena was great, exactly the same as in the book. This time though, things turn out differently. I absolutely love this film, as it followed the book extremely well, which they rarely do in films. I personally think that this film should be a lot higher in our top 10 movies of 2013, but there have also been a lot of brilliant films this year. Overall, we decided to rate this film 7.5 out of 10. Next up is Captain Phillips at number 7. This film was starring Tom Hanks and 4 other people that no one had really heard of. When I went to see this film, I was a bit dubious, especially after finding out it was a true story. I went into the cinema expecting a film about sailing, with some Somalian pilots driving past on a boat. Thankfully, Captain Phillips was absolutely nothing like that. I won't spoil the plot by going into the story, which is extremely well acted by Tom Hanks. This film definitely deserves its place on the top 10. Overall, we decided to give it an 8 out of 10.
At number 6 is the long-awaited Anchorman II. This movie was not originally intended to be a sequel, but because of the love of the actors and the fans, it became what it now is. I loved this movie and found it incredibly funny. Captain Speed and I could not stop laughing throughout. The acting of Will Ferrell, Christina Applegate, Steve Carell, Brian Cockner, and Paul Rudd was top-notch and they all cracked some very funny jokes. This movie is not all fun and laughs, however. Ron Burgundy suffers a couple of serious heartbreaks, and the storyline is as intricate as it is good. This movie definitely deserves an 8.5. Kick-Ass 2 makes number 5 on our list. The continued story of this average guy who just wants to be a superhero. He teams up with a gang of wannabe superheroes, led by Jim Carrey's Colonel Stars and Stripes, the ex-army actor who owns a ferocious Alsatian. The now older hit girl is even more of a badass, and teaches Kick-Ass in her ways. This movie was great. It followed the comic very well, and was also rather amusing. All this makes it an 8.5.
So now up, we have number 4. And this is an incredible movie to watch in the cinema. It is visually incredible. So you guessed it, it's Gravity. This came out in late 2013 and stars George Clooney and Sandra Bullock. I'll tell you a small bit of the story, but I wouldn't like to ruin it too much. After Sandra Bullock is propelled into space after the devastating destruction of their space station, she has to find her way back to Earth. And this is an amazing adventure, and they created new filming technology to make you feel weightless and as if you were floating in space. This is a great feeling to have in the cinema, and I would definitely recommend to go see it. If you missed your chance to see it in the cinema, that's very disappointing. But overall, I thought this movie was incredible, and I hope the technology is a huge loop for filming in the future. So, I think that the dialogue was perfectly chosen, and all of these things put together, I believe this movie was an 8.5 out of 10. And here we have number 3. It is the only animated movie in the top 10 list, but it is still one of the best. It is Batman: The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. I think this is an amazing cartoon, and I would definitely recommend watching it, even if you don't like superheroes. It is a great movie to watch with Batman, and it is based off the Frank Miller graphic novel that he wrote. So yeah, I definitely recommend it, and I loved every second of it. It doesn't really matter if you watch the first part, but still, go for this one. And that's why we rated this movie a 9.
At number 2, we have World War Z, starring Brad Pitt, who really is the only consistent character throughout the whole film. I absolutely love this movie the first time I watched it, and continue to love it the second time I watched it. Being a massive fan of TV shows and comics such as The Walking Dead, or the brilliant video game The Last of Us, I really think that this new interpretation of zombies was very good. I also have to mention the fantastic special effects which were used throughout the film, which included thousands of zombies clambering over each other, or clambering up walls and up apartment buildings. To be honest, the thing I'd change about this film is to make it longer, and for him to leave his annoying family. Overall, we decided to rate this movie 9 out of 10.
Now it's number 1, the one you've all been waiting for, Movie Club's top movie of 2017. It's The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, The Tale of Thor, Philly, Killy, Dori, Nori, Ori, Gloin, Oin, Dwalin, Balin, Bifur and Bomba, reclaiming their home mountain which is taken by the evil dragon Smaug. There's a lot of added extras in this movie, such as Legolas and the Orc pack which chased them throughout the film and the first film, but I think it still worked very well. Martin Freeman once again played Bilbo perfectly, including some amusing moments. We all thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and it deserves top spot. It gets a 9.5 out of 10.
Thank you for watching Movie Club's video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did making it. Please like, subscribe, and comment any thoughts you have of this video in the section below. Also, did you notice the Easter egg which happened halfway through? This is Movie Club, signing off.